I was really impacted by the murder of Martin Luther King. And I made it a point to get to know his widow, Coretta Scott King. And she was the true queen of America. She's the one who really was an amazing force in the civil rights movement. She's the one who said to Martin Luther King, we need strategy. We need to be better at strategy. And she says, as a matter of fact, I want you to sit down and talk to this guy named Bayard Rustin. And Martin's like, Bayard Rustin? She said, yeah, he's brilliant. He's black. He happens to be gay. And he happens to be a communist. Wow. And Martin said, he's gay? Like, he didn't even hear a communist. He's like, Martin's like, he's gay. It's like that, right?
Right.
And Coretta Scott King in 1958, 59 said, yeah, Martin, he's gay. And who do you think we're fighting for when we fight for civil rights? We're fighting for civil rights for all people, not just black people and white people, including gay people. So I need you to sit down with him, with all your Southern Baptist ministers, and listen to this brilliant man so we can come up with strategy. And he said, okay, Coretta. And he did. And he sat down with him. And Bayard had just come back from Paris. And he walked in and he laid it out, who he was. And then he laid out the strategy for the Montgomery bus boycott.
Wow.
And he said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to stop with the words and the chanting. It's money. We're going to bankrupt them. If they don't respect us, we're going to knock us in on the back of the bus. The man basically created ride sharing and Uber before it was Uber, because everybody had to figure out how to get to point A to point B without using the bus. Wow. And it was that. And Coretta said to me, we knew if we could break the South, we could break everything. If we could break Montgomery, we could break the South, and we could open up and get civil rights achieved. That was Coretta. Coretta was brilliant, the true queen. She's the one who made Martin Luther King's birthday a national holiday. The only American to have his birthday as a national holiday. The only one. She's the one who raised millions of dollars for the Martin Luther King Center for Nonviolent Change. She's the one who investigated his true murder and who actually did it. And I'm making a movie about that. And she's the one who said to me, Byron, as black people in this country, we had 4 major challenges. Number 1, end slavery. Nobody's had to deal with that in America other than us. Number 2, end Jim Crow. And I think Jim Crow was more damaging than slavery.
Really?
Yeah, because when we were slaves, we were assets. So they protected us, right? For the most part. When we became free, then we were considered competition and we became a liability. And that's when the genocide kicked in. That's when the lynchings kicked in. That's when the, burning us, incarcerating us, because you're free and you're competing with us. I mean, what was slavery all about? It was always about money. I brought you here from Africa to make us rich, not to compete. I brought you here to make us wealthy. Oh, you're free now. Now I have to compete against you. Let the genocide begin. And that's why you have all the lynchings and the incarceration and all the murders, because it was always about money. America could never, it's mathematically impossible for America to become as wealthy as America is without slave labor and close to 300 years of it, right?
Right.
We built it together, but as black people, we just never got paid. And so then she said, the real reason they killed my Martin, economic inclusion. right? So third one was civil rights. The third one was to achieve civil rights, which is what they did by the time he was 39 years old. And then she said, and the fourth one was economic inclusion. And she said, Byron, they didn't kill my Martin over the I have a dream speech. They killed him over the speech he gave in February of '68 at Stanford University, The Other America. And in that speech, he said there are two Americas. One America has access to opportunity, education, economic inclusion, jobs. The other America doesn't. There are two Americas, and two Americas will not survive. We must achieve one America, or America will fall apart. This is what the great Martin Luther King Jr. taught us well over 50 years ago. And they killed him four months later, April of '68. He was pushing for economic inclusion, mainly for poor white Americans. And they were like, you're out.